All right. Hey, Molly, how are you?
Hey Mike, I'm great. I'm so excited to be here chatting with you today.
I know. How exciting is this? I've been wanting to talk to you for like 5 years now.
Got you.
So, season two, episode, I think you're 10 already. Oh my
Lucky
gosh.
10.
Big lucky 10. I'm going to be the lucky 5-5 here in a few December.
Scorpio or Sag?
Capricorn. See?
Capricorn, either. Look at
50.
you, rocking that 55. That's
Yeah.
great. You have a great head of hair, great glasses always. Style is on point. Art is growing. Happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's funny. I got like known for these glasses, and I
I asked you about them when I saw you, and then it surprised me because you were like, I got a pack of them and they come in every color. Is that the story?
Yep, yeah, great memory. I was at Ensika, we met.
Because
Yep.
they're iconic glasses.
Yeah, and it's funny. I went to one of my best buddies is the head of the glass department at Alfred University, a kid named Angus Powers. I shouldn't say kid. I think he's 40 something now. And I walked into his glass studio the other day, and he was wearing the exact same orange pair. So we got a picture of ourselves. He goes, Amazon, $15.
They're so cool.
So we're coming to us live right now from the studio, huh?
Atlanta, Georgia, Dare Park, Molly Sanyour Ceramic Studio.
Very cool. I'm so excited.
On my little wheelie cart to give you a little pan of our wheel area over to our hand building area.
Look at it. I love it.
Maxton's over there, a little welcome area. And we even have our little there.
Ooh, you got to play the podcast up there for everybody.
We
Yes.
have a viewing party.
I love the shelf units. And you know what was really cool? We got to watch you build it, which was cool. Yeah.
Yes, and my architect and the contractor were both like, when I was like, guys, I need more shelves. They're like, Molly, you have a lot of shelves. Like, you already have a lot of shelves, Molly. You have a lot of shelves, Molly. And I'm like, guys, you don't know. You
You
don't
understand?
know. Pottery Studio, that is not a thing. You can't have too many shelves.
No, there's almost never enough shelves.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many wheels you got there? Looks like 20, 18, 16?
16.
Yeah, that's great. I love the middle table. I love like that you can sit and throw across from each other. Like,
Yes.
how fun is that? I want to do that so bad. I actually just
Like,
looked
this
at a
is like
building.
beyond my dream. It's like I took everything I loved from my previous studios and experiences and just,
Yep. Yeah. It's so exciting. I want one so bad right here in our little town. Actually, my wife is thinking about moving her wood shop down to the middle of town. So I might kind of knock this wall out and make mine twice as big and just do classes in here.
yeah, there's
Or
such
just,
a need. There's such a desire for the community,
Mhm.
the creativity, and the fun. Those are our three keywords.
Absolutely. I just looked at a building too, and it was like 500 grand. And I was like, dude, that's like, ugh.
Mike, 500 grand to buy a building.
Well, upstate New York is
I'm
a
like,
little
I don't
cheaper.
think we can spend 500 grand and buy a small house here in
No,
Atlanta. It is like,
no, absolutely. I grew up in the North Shore of Long Island, so everything's $1 million at least, right? But up here in Rochester, it's pretty cheap. I mean, we have a really beautiful 4-bedroom house with 6 acres. I think we got it for $160,000.
so do you have room on your property then to build it?
Oh yeah.
That's my next dream is like a retreat. This is the Molly Sanyour Ceramics Studio, and then maybe we'll have a Molly Sanyour Ceramics retreat where it's like you can come from everywhere and I have a place for you to stay. Because right now our studio, we're in this gorgeous, cute neighborhood, Adair Park.
Deer Park,
We're
right?
looking at front yards of these cute little bungalow houses, but there's not like, housing. If I were to house, like if you were a visiting artist to come and people came, it's like, I think it'd be so fun to have a place to put them up,
Yep.
have meals together.
Last year, I offered up. I want to do workshops from my house with me for about 5 people in my studio. I have a big table here, and just come and make pots with me for a couple of days. We'll drink copious amounts of coffee, and we'll shoot the shit, and we'll just hand build. It'll be so much fun, right? And so the golf course is about a mile from me, and we rent a house out there. And in the winter, the course is closed, house is closed. So my boss said, "Yeah, get $50 a night. Tell them they can have it." So I'm going to put that out there for February to get 5 or 6 people for $700, including housing. Come on.
Ah, such
And
a
we've been
fun time. And people travel. One of our who works in our studio with us. The internet connected us. She was new to Atlanta from Canada, from India. She loves pottery. She has a home studio. And she just traveled from Atlanta to Chicago, or not Chicago, somewhere in Illinois for the Moondubang workshop.
Oh, Moondabang. Oh, gosh, yeah.
And everyone came. Like like the clay people go, right?
Yeah, that guy's huge. Is he?
He's an icon. We love him.
Yeah, he makes those giant pieces. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So you were in Virginia first, right?
Richmond, Virginia, born and raised.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought you were more of a northeastern, like New Jersey, a Jersey girl.
I went to JMU in like Northwest Virginia, and I was the most southern of all of my friends. Everyone came from New York, New Jersey, New Hampshire, Maryland, Baltimore. So all my friends were northern. So I love a northerner. And they thought that they had never heard the word y'all in real life. So they thought I was like, who is this girl saying y'all?
Yeah. My brother went to University of Virginia.
Yeah.
And I used to go visit him from school. And a couple, 3 days there, I started saying y'all after 3 days, you know?
Yeah, it just flows. It just flows. It's easy.
Yeah. I remember playing golf. I went to school in Myrtle Beach, playing golf with a guy born and raised in North Carolina. His name was Junior. And he missed a putt, and he said, "Dadgummit." And I said, I thought only cartoons said that. Like, I thought that's a Bugs Bunny line. What are you talking about?
But yeah, I've heard some things. But now that I'm in Atlanta, the dialect is completely different. And they spot me as a foreigner, too, because they're like, no one says Atlanta. They say Atlanta.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, I'm new to Atlanta. And they're like, yep, she's not from here.
That's like when people say Long Island. I'm like, nobody says that.
Long Island. Yeah. One of my besties was from Long Island.
Nobody says the G. I see you're drinking from a butt mug. Those things blew up, huh?
Butt mugs, they blew up thanks to Lizzo. She made them popular. Kickstarter brought them to the masses.
You still making them?
I just made a few by hand. These are part of the Kickstarter mass-produced collection so that I could like crank them out and stop making them because everyone wanted them and I was hand making them. And so I just made some new hand-built ones because I just also got into creating. Since packing up my Richmond studio, moving here, I kind of didn't get to create anything myself for a long time. So
yeah,
finally came back to making.
It's interesting when people want a bunch of stuff, right? Like, you know, the butts that I use for the bases, we talked about that before I made them.
This is what I brought over here. You gave me a butt to play with.
Yeah.
This year at our local neighborhood park, I was packing up to bring my little mini wheel that I brought last year. I could plug it in. People loved the mini wheel. And it was broken because I hadn't checked it since last year. So I was like, I hand built the whole time and I had your little butts. So I played around and I hand built. And so these are my first 3 butt mic pieces.
Oh, I love it. That's
so I had
fantastic.
so much fun hand building, dip them in my white, and I can't wait to kind of play around with those more.
Yeah, I do all sorts of sizes. I have a bunch of shelves over there full. I got ones up there. And it's funny because, you know, I made them originally just, you know, for my own work, just because it made it easier. I do this one's like this is like a half plate, half bowl, but usually this one will be the bottom of a jar. So then I'll just hand build a big jar off of this, and then it's done.
I love it.
But, you know, then people were like, hey, you should sell those. And I was like, oh, I never thought of that. And all of a sudden, boom, I had like $3,000 worth of orders in one day.
And are you still pumping them out, or did they kind of peak and fall, or people still?
I mean, people are asking me. It's just, they're not, I mean, they're easy to make, but they take like so long to dry because they're fat, you know. You need a big, thick base on them, because the foot needs to be above the actual bottom. So they take forever to dry, and they take up, you know, I blow them up all the time because I try to rush them. And so, yeah, people still want them, but I'm barely making them. Anyway, kind of like the mugs. So why Atlanta? What brought you down there?
I'll swivel why Atlanta around. Where'd he go? Saxon's back there somewhere. Saxon, my boyfriend, is an animation director.
Oh, cool.
When we were dating, I was in Richmond. Had only lived in Richmond. You know, I've traveled. I love traveling. I was a teacher, so I had summers off, 2-week holidays. I traveled everywhere, but I had never been to Atlanta. And he was working on a show for Cartoon Network and HBO Max called Ianu. It's out now, and it's awesome. And he was working on it at the time, and he had been from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And he was like, Molly, what do you think if we take it to Atlanta and create this, you know, show down there? And I was like, had kind of been living Groundhog's Day in Richmond. It was like I had kind of, I had just turned 40. I had been kind of complaining about my teaching job for a little longer than it felt good to be doing, you know? It was like, okay, let me make a change. Mm-hmm. And at the same time, he was like, what about Atlanta? And I'm like, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's
Warmer.
go.
So you were a teacher. Was that high school or?
High school most recently. I did 8 years at a Title I elementary school, 9 years at a private high school, so kind of opposite ends of the spectrum,
Okay.
but loved it all.
It's amazing how many guests have been on this show that are teachers. Adam Miller was on 2 weeks ago, PX10. I don't know if you know his work. He draws like the crazy raccoons on his plates, kind of like Kippo Crongley. Pretty cool stuff. But I was telling him, I said, in my opinion, if there's anybody in the world who should be paid a ridiculous amount of money, it should be teachers.
Yeah, that's part of why we leave, because we're underpaid, underappreciated. It's so many terrible things that eventually you either
crack.
Yeah, or you decide to take the leap and follow your dream. And guess what? Like, I am still a teacher.
Yeah.
I'm now teaching adults. Like, some of my students will come in and say, like, because I have you on my little teacher table now, and I'll be standing here with my little file folder of my students and kind of check them in and have our weekly intro question and be like, when y'all leave today, your homework is to watch videos of how to throw cylinders. Okay, this week your homework is to watch videos of trimming. And they're like, I feel like I'm in school. And some of them I think love it, and some of them are like, Molly, I'm just an adult living my best life.
Yeah.
So it's so much fun because, like, I'm still, that background in teaching really taught me,
Yeah.
how to run the course load, and how ceramics, building skill level, but then ending with a project you're proud of and allowing that kind of time to happen.
Yeah. I kind of appreciate that. I think some of the adults are probably like, dude, I don't want homework, but in a way, I think you're making them a better potter and a better artist by walking them through it like a student.
Well, and most of my students are self-proclaimed not artists, and they're all looking for something to do, a creative outlet, a place to meet friends, a place to put their phone down, a place to get away from a screen. So they're all coming from other ends of the creativity realm. Like, we've had a neurologist, we've had lawyers, attorneys, project managers, like people who consider themselves not creative, and then they come in here, and literally 2 days ago we had our art show, and they're all presenting their bodies of work with their artist statements. Their friends and their families are oohing and eyeing, and it's just so fun that these people who are not artists, which I'm like, everyone's an artist, you just don't give yourself time to create. Like, everyone's an artist. It's in us as humans.
I saw that post of the after party or whatever. That's just genius.
That was the party. That was the party.
But it's after the 8-week class is done?
Yes, the Sunday after.
That's just genius, because then not only are they done with their class, they get to have like an opening of their own work. And I love the backdrop and the
step and repeat in the red carpet.
But it's just
I love a party. And that was my favorite part of having taught high school. Was like, when I got there, I had never taught high school. We did an art show at the elementary school where every school had to, put the mall art show up. So you had to kind of represent your whole art program. And then those kids didn't always necessarily come or show up, but in high school, they worked, and I learned this, I didn't know this my first semester, but they worked for the end of semester art show. So there was a winter art show, and then there was the spring art show. And my first year, all my students, they just had random stuff because we just learned clay and played with clay. And then I'm a little competitive. So I'm like, wait, there's awards? There's like categories of most functional, most non-functional, like sculptural. I'm like, okay. So then the next time I was like, guys, we have 16 weeks to this art show, okay? We have the first 8 weeks, I'm gonna teach you all about clay, how to do it. The second 8 weeks, you gotta make a body of work. If you like tan building, if you like wheel throwing, I don't care. You gotta figure out what you like to do, and then you're gonna work on it, and you have 8 weeks, and you only need 3 pieces. So just make one piece, and then by the end, you just have a little show. And oh my gosh, when I realized that we were working towards the art show, it's like everything changed. The art quality went up, the results went up. It was just so fun.
Yeah, I guess it's different when people are going to kind of look at it.
Yeah.
I
think it stresses them out, but that stress, I tell them, is excitement.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't have this stress ever in your life, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to be like, oh gosh, putting myself out there.
That's funny. I'll never forget it. I took karate my whole life, from like 9 years old to 35 years old. And I was going for a belt test, and my sensei was a woman named Elise. She was like a 5th degree black belt. She was crazy good. And I said, this is weird. Because I was well into adulthood at that time. I said, I don't know what, I'm nervous for my test, because you're testing in front of 10 black belts. And she goes, if you weren't nervous, I'd be concerned. Nervous means you care.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I've had 2 of my adult students in tears the week of Glaze Week or the final week. And I'm like, bless their hearts. It's because they really care that much. And they're like stressing. And I'm like, it's okay.
It's okay.
And at that point, I'm like, it is just clay and it is okay. And I don't mean to push you to the point of tears, but that is because you care.
Artists cry. That's it. I pulled the plate out of the kiln yesterday morning, cracked. Son of a biscuit.
Say it louder. Say it louder. I will tell them, and I think that they think that it doesn't happen to me, or it doesn't happen like that they're bad because it happens. And I'm like, no, honey, this is clay.
No.
This is clay.
Yep. I was like, that's useless. This is useless. You know what I do? I turn them into glaze tests. Here, look, this morning. So I was drawing my flowers, whatever, I'm experimenting with white. And I did the front. I hated it. So I just took a sponge and wiped it all off. I'm going to start again. There's
so much to learn. That's like why we love clay. I tell it's like yoga. You're not like, okay, I completed it, I'm done. It's like a practice that you just do forever.
Yeah. John Gill said to me once, never fall in love with any pot you ever make, because you can always make another one.
And it can always break, or something can go wrong,
Yeah. Like I've been making these kind of crazy, big, ornate bowls.
Gorgeous.
Really
Gorgeous.
Thanks. It's gonna be nuts.
You're using the butt, and then what? You're using like a press mold, and then popping them on, or what?
Yeah. So I started doing these mugs, like these kind of crazy, ornate kind of mugs.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, there's a guy named Blair Climo that does that.
Yes, from VCU. I took my students on a field trip to check out
VCU. There's this one. So it was, what was it? It was this one was not a butt. This was just a slab. Built it, I let it dry. I always tell people, leave it for like 5 hours. Leave it sitting out and come back when it's really good and cheese hard, you can mess with it. So I let it dry a good 3/4 of the way, and then I did the press mold slabs, and then attached that, and then added another rim.
I love it. I love the combination piece of like your work and like the kind of puzzled, hand-built, beautiful form, but the construction of them in your work.
Yeah.
I love.
Thank you very much. I like to show the construction too.
Yes.
Like I always tell people, I'm like, don't fix that line.
Show the teapot one that you showed me earlier. I love that.
Don't fix it. I'm like, don't fix it. Show your work, because you'll try to smooth that line out, and it'll look like you tried to fix it.
Yeah, and like these hand pinched ones, like you're not going to get that on the Kickstarter mug. Like it's handmade. It's made with love.
Yeah. Oh, this is that.
Look at that. Like the construction of it.
So this is olive oil bottle.
Because that's all hand built, correct?
I threw these 2 pieces, and then I hand built the spout.
Okay, I thought it was all hand built.
I colored it with black terra sigillata, and then fired that on, and then I used Speedball. My buddies at Speedball.
Yes, Speedball, love them.
Speedball. I use Speedball red over it, and then what I do is I take a piece of steel wool and I take a bunch of it off. I want the black to come through. I really want it to look like it stairs,
And you do that after the bisque.
Yep, after bisque, right? And then these.
So wool some off, get the variation, and then are you clear glazing yours?
And then I draw, I use underglaze. Have you played with these pens actually?
No, I'm scared of a pen like that. I volunteered to do our Portraits and Pies, the neighborhood events, and they were like, here's our logo. Could you make the pie dishes for first place home baker, first place professional? And the amount of pie dishes I went through trying to get the lettering and all of it, I don't know. Do you like those?
These are called fine line. What I like about them is that, like, if you take the top off,
it has a pin in it.
No, it's got like a little metal poker in the top that goes in this, so it doesn't get all. You're not like trying to fix it every single time.
That's a good.
Yeah,
that would help me because I am a mess, and I'd probably lose the little top, and it would get clogged. And
they come in different gauges, like different colors. So This one has a bigger
And you just
spout.
keep it loaded with your colors and have a few of
Yeah,
them. And so
I
you're just,
just leave it right in there, and I kind of do like a. So this one, the little one, I draw the little lines with the smaller one, and
fun.
then the branches I do with more of a fatter.
Okay, guys, maybe I will see a Mike Griffin inspired collection. Like maybe I'll start playing around with surface design.
Dude, let's go. So I want to get an air pen. Have you seen those?
I saw Maya using them, but she started with the this and then realized that, all that could
It hurts.
just holding it.
Yep. There's a guy named Michael Hall. Actually, that plate right. Which way? There. That one
I
right there.
can't see it. I only see a square.
I'll show you. He was on the show. He does amazing stuff.
Oh, wow. Love
Right.
how like, the little individual scales are like rainbow fish.
Yeah,
What's
he
that
does.
look like?
Oh, it's a hanging piece. It's supposed to hang on the wall.
That's cool. I need to make some hanging pieces. That's a good idea to kind of do like a cylinder.
I saw that look in your eyes. Yeah, I saw it. You're like, yep, making one of those.
Well, my landlord who popped in here on this building, there's a huge long hallway.
Yep.
And he's basically told us that we can hang whatever art we want, but he doesn't want pedestals. So I'm like, well,
Oh, okay.
don't tempt me with some wall hanging ceramics. So I've made some of my wall pockets to go on there. And I'm just thinking, I am kind of on the lookout for like wall.
I made those boxes last year. Actually, they were called, they were chopstick holders. It was like a little box. The top comes off and it hangs on the wall, and you just put your chopsticks in it. I get these stupid ideas.
People are so clever.
Speaking of seeing something like that and then getting that look in your eye, it was somebody on Instagram, I forget who it was, Heather Lepp, I think. She was like, I'm looking at the pieces I'm glazing, and each one informs the next cycle. And I was like, oh, I just love that. Like we were just talking about this. This, I came out of the kiln, and as I looked at it, I was like, I'm doing this, 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 and this in this, you know what I mean?
That's why I tell my students like test, 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 test. And they're like, hey, what is this red speedball underglaze going to look like on this black terra sigillata? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. You'd have to test it to see. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know every color.
Yeah. Or the application or how it's mixed. We have this one glaze root beer. And for like 3-4 art shows, it's been coming out. I just don't think it's been mixed enough or applied well, but it's been like a more matte, rough brown. In this art show, these pieces were coming out of the kiln, and I'm like, I've started letting people bring their own glazes in because I'm just like, first I was like, no outside glazes, but I'm like, that is where magic happens, but you need to test it first. And so this glaze, I'm like, this must have been her own glaze. And she finally gets her, I'm like, what glaze? And there's like a couple pieces that look similar. I'm like, what is that? She's like, root beer. I'm like, no, this is root beer. And hers was root beer, but they were so different. Because she mixed, and I think she double dipped, which I'm like, guys, you dip one time. We don't double dip. It can run. It can make a mess.
Also depends how long you hold it in there.
And the root beer this time, man. So it's like, yeah, the testing, and it's like,
Yeah. I saw some famous potter had a picture on Instagram, and it was like 3 test tiles like this, and it said, always remember to mix your glazes. Did you see it?
yes, this is like a 5-second. This is like a 10. This is like a 30 or whatever.
Yeah, or not mixed, lightly mixed, and heavy mixed. 3 completely different colors. And clay bodies too. You know, I was telling someone the other day, my buddy Matt, I texted him, I said, hey, I love that green you got. And he said, oh, you want the recipe? I said, yeah. And he sent it to me. And I made, of course, I'm an idiot. I made a 5-gallon bucket full. And I was like, bloop. And then I fired it and I opened the kiln. And I was like, nope, not even close. Because it was a different clay body, you know? Expectations are.
Maybe try again and just mix, double dip.
Yeah. I played with it. I put a bunch of Zerka packs in, and then I made it a little darker, and now it kind of works. But
See, look at you playing with stuff. See, I'm just like, I like to find a good white glaze, and then everything is just white. And then having the studio, it's like, okay, I realize it's not just me, it's a community. So I needed to pick like a few palette colors, hence the root beer. We've got like a jade. And there's some people who want to like get into the glaze chemistry and stuff. And I think as people are catching the clay bug, we'll
Yeah.
probably as a studio dive more into like add some, what did you say? Zerpa?
Zerka packs, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't know, guys.
You know, it's funny. I learned by just asking. I went to Alfred, but I didn't go to Alfred for ceramics. Alfred's like the best ceramic school.
I'm gonna wheel you over and do some waxing and glazing with you.
Okay, cool. So I just learned by just trying and doing it wrong and then trying again.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that. You'll never learn. The possibilities in ceramics are just endless. So
Endless.
yeah.
And the failures are endless. You never reach perfection.
Nope. I just did a bunch of test tiles the other day because I'm now messing around. I found out I can't really get the clay that I want, so I had to switch clay bodies, and now I'm retesting everything. But I actually like it better. So it was kind of like I was all super freaked out, like, no, my clay.
Things happen for a reason.
I went and got 22 boxes the other day in my little Volkswagen. It was like doing a wheelie all the way home, for a
Laid
thousand.
it down.
It was hilarious. Yep. Well, I'm super happy that, I remember when you were, we chatting for a couple of years now on Instagram, and, it was never a doubt that you were going to make this place work. And I'm so excited that it's working. It really warms my heart to see that many people in your space.
Thank you so much. That really means a lot. Like positivity and people who have kind of seen that it's been a dream. Like hasn't always been here. Like this time last year, this didn't exist. And so it is really fun to have
Yeah.
people who have seen the whole journey.
Yeah, it's super cool. And I don't fully know you. I think I know you pretty well, but you seem like the type of person that if you're going to do it, you're going to do it.
Well, yeah, because most people, actually, a shout out to Sarah Truman, who led an NCECA conference about her Gainesville studio. She's in Gainesville, Florida, and she led a seminar, one of those breakout rooms that was like about community pottery studios and how basically if you're at NCECA, then you are your town's expert and that your town needs you to open a studio because you are the one who kind of knows how to do it. And her workshop broke everybody out into 4 corners, and she was like, y'all are going to talk about classes, y'all are going to talk about scheduling, y'all are going to talk about finding the building or whatever. And she was like, you don't have a budget, go to your local church, ask if you can rent out their activities room, get a wheel on Craigslist. Like there's no reason, there's no budget. And so of course I am like, I just want it all curated from the beginning. I just want brand new everything. So that probably wasn't like the most, economical path to go, but it just brought the vision to life. So I just went for it.
Yeah. And you can tell it's really done well. I love the deep sink area, the bathroom area. You really thought it through.
Well, I mean, what? Have I been doing this for a couple decades or what? Like,
Right?
I've had my own studio. I've run the high school studio. I've done all that. I've been in other studios. And, then you're able to kind of really just like making a collection of work, you're able to kind of Pinterest your favorite things and what you want, what you don't want. And then with enough time and vision and perseverance and finding the right people to connect, it all comes together.
Yep. Very cool. And Atlanta seems fun. You're just Adair Park is just outside of Atlanta, isn't it?
No, it's in Atlanta. And Atlanta, I didn't realize it's shaped like a heart, like a heart. And in the very middle, there is like another little perimeter. So they call it the perimeter. It's like the interstate circles the perimeter of Atlanta. And I learned this here, like some people be like, I'm from Atlanta, but really they're like 30 minutes outside of the perimeter, which to people in the perimeter, they're like, you're not really Atlanta.
Not really from Atlanta,
But
yeah.
in Atlanta, a Georgia Tech student had this thesis statement to take this old transit road that had been shut down and make it a pedestrian path. So it's an interior circle that literally connects all the neighborhoods of Atlanta on the inside. And so it connects, we're like right off the west side belt line, which is a great place to be.
We need more of that in our society today. More people doing stuff together.
Yeah.
Which is another reason community studios are great.
Oh my
we
gosh.
need to be with each other.
It is so cute, the community that is being made. I just love it.
Yeah. So Saxton is from Atlanta?
Saxton is like from Akron, Ohio. Is that right? He's over there. Fort Wayne. Fort Wayne.
Yeah, that's close. Yeah. Right around the corner.
But he's been here. He grew up here since age 7. He was kind of in Marietta, which is a little outside of Atlanta, but grew up here, went to high school here. He was part of Cartoon Network that started here. And yeah, he has a good background here.
Cool. That's a good-looking fella, got to tell you. From as man to man, that's a good-looking man.
He ages like a fine wine. He really does. I got so lucky.
I'm not shy to say it.
I'm not shy for him to hear me saying it. He's perking up over there. I see him. He is an animation director. So I didn't really know what that meant, but and producer. So basically the things I've seen him do are work on cartoons that have been on TV. Like he did this Rise Up, Sing Out short with Disney and The Roots about anti-racism.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so he would look at the screen and say, and I watched the same thing he just watched. I'm like, wow, that's great. He's like, no, this girl just appeared in this shot and she wasn't there 2 shots ago. And this girl, her scarf was red and now it's orange. It's a different color. And I'm like,
I see that.
yeah. So that's like his realm of kind of bringing cartoons. And so it kind of was fun to meet him because he's an artist in a realm I had never considered, like cartoons. And I was always fascinated, like, how do they make a cartoon?
Isn't it fun to see people in their work, like doing what they do?
Yeah.
It's like when I play golf with people. People go, gosh, you make it look so easy. I said, I've been doing it since I was 5. If I don't have it sort of figured out by now, I need to do something different.
Yeah, that muscle memory.
So what else do I got? So how big is that space? That's a huge space.
Yeah, well, and people would say just start small, and back to the room, and she's like, just start where you don't need any budget. You can do it with what you got. And I'm like, I was on a hunt in Atlanta. The other thing they say is like the traffic is terrible. In fact, I just saw like a meme they put out that it's like Atlanta has officially announced there is no rush hour traffic. It is just rush. It is just traffic.
It's just
period,
rush.
all the time, any day. And so where we landed, I was like, well, we're right by the Beltline. It's a cute area of Atlanta. I love it. And I was like, well, I want to be able to walk to my studio because I don't want to get in that traffic.
Yep.
And I went through all these spaces that I loved. I was in love. My heart got broken for this reason or that reason. And so when I came over here to this spot, I'll turn this around this way, but you'll see that I'm actually have 2 storefronts. So I was going to start with this one, and then I also took that one. So this building that we're in was an empty shell of like a warehouse. It's like an additional space added on to be multi-units.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was a full shell, I was like, okay, well, let me take 1 unit. And I was working with an architect, and he was sketching out the layout of my dream, the wheel island, the work tables, the shelves.
Yep.
And it looked great on paper. I'm like, great, this looks great. And then we got in the space, and I'm like, that's not going to fit in this one side of this space. It's just not. And people are like, Molly, just start small, just start small. And I'm thinking, I can't afford to do it this one time and then to just turn around and not have enough space and to need I need to do it. My head, I'm like, I want to do it once right, and just I know that it will work.
Well, there's a lot to be said about a big giant space. High ceilings, it just promotes freeness, I think. It just makes it feel good to be in a space like that.
And like one of the spaces that my heart was set on, I mean, I was in tears when the spot didn't work out. In hindsight, it was in like almost a basement. It had like, the windows were like halfway up the wall. There's like a little courtyard attached, but it was so it was like, felt like you were in a dungeon.
Yeah.
And so really, and at the former school where I worked, the ceramic studio was like a dream studio. I actually took my students to go visit Blair Clemo at VCU because I'm like, they're the #1 art school in the country or something. And I'm like, I want to see their studio because our studio is so nice. It was an old basketball gym, and a local neighbor donated literally millions of dollars to turn it into the arts center where it had theater, fine art, music, and it was an old basketball gym. So the ceilings were huge. It was just open. And it was great. The community of the kids interacting and coming and going. And so this is literally like better than any of my dreams, but it is exactly what I would have, I love it. Yeah, the openness.
You know what I've always wanted? I've always wanted one of those big giant artist lofts in like Soho, where it's like the whole floor of a building, and the big giant windows, and the place is yours, and you just make a mess.
Yeah, and make big stuff.
Yeah. I was just telling my wife the other day, there's a guy named Billy Ritter. Do you know Billy Ritter? Billy Ritter and Josh Kopus. Josh Kopus is one of those he's a North Carolina potter. He was in those floods. I think his place got flooded out, but I think it's all back together, which is, who knew a flood was coming to the mountains of North Carolina? Just crazy. So God bless everyone that lost their stuff.
Oh my God.
But him and Billy just did a thing in Ohio And like I just see them post on Instagram, and it was this huge warehouse space, like probably 4 times the size of your space right there. It had 2 big gas kilns inside, and it's paid for by some grant. So these guys get to show up and do like a residency for 3, 4, 5 months at a time. And I said, man, I can't imagine what I would do if I had 3 tons of clay and all the time in the world to just make giant stuff.
And I wonder if they knew, or if it was just the blessing of the time and materials to figure out what you.
Yeah, I mean, how fun is it to see what comes out of the other side of that, you know?
Yeah.
Speaking of lots of clay, I saw you got a pug mill, you lucky dog.
Yes. Well, is it luck, or was it just part of add it to the loan?
Yeah.
While we're doing it, I think we need one for this much clay. I had never in my life used one. I'd never seen one in real life. We had we had like the clay mixer at the high school where I worked, which
Yep.
I couldn't stand, and it broke at one point, and they just decided to get the same one again, and I was like, oh. But it's been, yeah, I freaking love that pug mill.
Yeah, that thing's badass. I'm jealous.
It's great.
So your studio when you were in Richmond, your home studio was in your basement, wasn't it?
Yep, in my basement, a little small, tiny.
So you must feel like the king of the castle right now with all that
I
space.
do. I feel like the queen of the castle, the empress.
How great is
I
that?
feel like, yeah, it is just really, it is just beyond like what I could have imagined. Just the openness, like having these windows, these work tables, and then when we don't have class, like right now, and it's just
Yeah.
me to just
Yeah.
like make a little bit of a mess and then clean up.
Yeah,
And
that's
I
good.
have to be an example of some sort. Like if my students watch this, like we have to keep the community areas clean. And that, like, you know, it is nice, and I do still miss a home studio. And I tell everybody, I'm like, the community studio, Molly Sanyour and Mike Studio, should be on everybody's wish list to be part of it. It's amazing, but also your own studio is where you're going to be able to experiment with those random things and leave a mess and make whatever you want to make at whatever size and frequency. And so it's a beauty of both, right? Like having the community, because when you have your own home studio, you're like, why did this happen? Or I need some inspiration, or where's the community? Because that's the fun part of a pottery studio is like the community, and you don't get that when you're at home.
Yeah, and you know, I teach workshops all over the place. I got a bunch. Actually, I got one down in Virginia coming up in March. One in Virginia, one in Wisconsin, and I think I'm going back to Arrowmont again next year. So I love. Have you been to Arrowmont?
I've been to Arrowmont and Anderson Ranch Arts Center, and there was one, maybe it's Arrowmont I'm thinking, but those are the most fun places on earth.
Isn't it great? I just love that. Again, it's back to that community making thing, which is kind of like where this, like we were talking earlier, this whole show came from. I love to, I mean, you knew me from a couple years ago when I was just going live on Instagram all the time.
Yeah.
People called me like Mr. Live. And I'm like, well, I do it because for a couple of reasons. One, I drink a ton of coffee in the morning, right? And I'm hopped up on coffee. And then I'm alone in the studio and I want to talk to people.
Right. Yes.
You know, I want to say, hey, look what I'm
I
making.
go live. I've been going live. I have my own fake Andy Cohen Bravo show. He has that Watch What Happens Live. So I channel him, and I have Thrown with Molly, where I have my cue cards and my guests. But we're live together in real life person, which is so fun. But when I had my home studio, I love going live because, you're talking to other clay people.
Yeah, I live for that.
And I also had, that I haven't been able to bring back yet, but my Thrown with Molly online membership. We would meet weekly on Zoom and literally had members from New Zealand. I have some of her work around here. Canada, like literally all over the world, but we all love clay. And they all had home studios that they had questions, or they had, there was conversations to have, but they didn't have a place to have them. So we created Thrown with Molly, and it became such a community. When I met you at Encika, it was like we were all the Thrown with Molly group. We were all together in real life, and it was so cute.
Oh, you guys were having a blast.
Had a blast. And so I can't wait to bring that back, where it's like a weekly community where people who just need to ask a question, because again, the teacher in me, I do love teaching and the basics. Like there's no dumb question,
Somebody came up to me once at Encika and they said, I just want to thank you because I've learned so much from watching you. I'm like, oh.
Right. You're like, oh, you watch.
Yes, like they're like, oh, I love your show. Or like even the other artists, when I'm trying to get them to come on the show, I'm like, I don't know if you've seen the show or not. They're like, what are you kidding me? I've watched every episode.
Yeah,
like, oh, it's
so
great.
Nice to have clay content.
True,
Like,
it is kind of a niche.
studio, I was trying to find clay podcasts about community studios and like people opening them. And I found this one great one, and I'm sorry because I'm blanking on the name of the studio, but they did this whole podcast of starting it, going through like the permits and the art, like all the stuff that I was going through. And I'm like, this is great, this is great. And then it like stopped. And I'm like, wait, I need more. Wait, what happened? And then I think they opened, and so I think things got busy. I don't even know. I gotta search more.
When I was at NCECA in Richmond, somebody came up to me and they said, "Can I take a picture with you?" And I told my wife, and she goes, "That's the last thing you need."
So great. So great. And you keep wearing those glasses in every color, and like you are like literally iconic. Like people are gonna start dressing up as you. It's like Halloween. They'll have the apron and the glasses.
Yeah. It's funny, if I walk around NCECA without my glasses on, nobody knows who I am.
I don't know that I would. Don't do that.
That's too funny. I wish I didn't need them. My wife was in here making something the other day. She's doing these really cool, like, little tree. She's been making trees out of clay, just like there's a whole pile of them here, just little like clay trees. And then she black washes them, and then she glues them, and then she puts a frame around because she's a framer. And they're the cutest little tree scenes with a little moon behind them. But she was like, "Oh, I'm getting a headache." I said, "Try my glasses." And she put them on. She goes, "Oh, wow."
Is that the indicator? That's a good tip of the day. If you're getting headaches while doing tiny detailed work, check your site.
Tell us more about your classes and your memberships, and
Okay.
let's talk Molly Sanyour ceramics.
So I just opened in March and really kind of launched this, excited to take my favorite parts of my high school teaching job that was so great for so long, take all my favorite parts and bring them into my dream, and then launch those for adults, because I'd always get the parents saying, "Oh, I want to take a class," and like they'd always be amazed seeing what their kid had made at those art shows at the end. So at Molly Sanyour Ceramics Studio, I welcome all skill levels, and my favorite are our 8-week classes, which I've only told former students that I launched the next round for January last night. So that's like a sneak peek. We've launched our next round of 8-week classes, and we have a curriculum for students who have never worked with clay. So it's like, just show up, and by the end, you'll be shocked and proud of yourself, because you will have an art show and a cohesive body of work. And week 1, we do an intro in hand building. Week 2, we do cylinder boot camp. Week 3, we do bowls. Week 4, we do trimming. And then week 5 and 6, they create their own, like whatever they want. Do they like hand building? Do they like wheel throwing? Do they want to combine them both? And then they work to build their art show. And then they have week 7 to glaze. And then week 8, we sand all of the pieces. I mean, I remember taking ceramics classes and no one ever told me about sanding the bottoms of my pots. So we sand, we photograph the works, we write the artist statement, we clean up the studio, we get ready for the art show that's always the following Sunday. And that's the class. Now, I wasn't anticipating the growth so fast, but I've had students who have not taken every class, and they are like just clay enthusiasts through and through. And they're like, "Okay, Molly, we don't need the curriculum anymore, but we want like a membership."
Yeah.
So instead of the membership, I'm doing like Clay 103, or like now I've launched it as Clay 101 and beyond.
Yeah, advanced throwing. Yeah.
And so it's like, if you've already taken a class with me, I'm actually going to give them a sheet, because they'll be able to come in kind of independently. And the sheet will have all these techniques that they'll take a pen, they'll write today's date. I feel comfortable throwing bowls. I feel comfortable trimming. I've done a teapot. Sgraffito, what's that? Let me circle that. Or like throwing off the hump. I've never done that. What's that? So like kind of give them a list, if you will, of techniques that are those advanced techniques that on week 1, instead of waiting till week 5, 6, week 1, they can kind of start creating that body of work for the 8-week kind of focus.
That's fantastic. I mean, I love how well thought out that is. There's a couple of things there that stand out to me. One, you said you've taken the best parts of what you've learned. So, like, for your students, I think that is priceless. They're skipping over all the dumb stuff that you've seen happen in studios, and you're like, "Let me give you the best of everything I've seen."
Yeah, and my prices are, I'm in a city where, believe it or not, Atlanta's pottery community studio, or you could count them like on your hand.
Really?
I got here and I was like, where are all this? Like, I thought I could just sign up for a class somewhere and everybody's booked and busy. And a lot of them are nonprofits and this or that. And so the price here is a little higher than those in the neighborhood. But
Yeah.
not only are you getting the space, but you are getting, I feel like, a full college level. Like, you leave here making work that I didn't start making until I was like 5 years in.
Well, yeah. So I was going to show you a little trick. You were talking about standing pots. You might have seen this. So what I did, well, yeah, like you said, it's kind of like signing up. It's like paying for a better hotel. You get what you pay
Yes,
for,
like
right?
we don't charge them for this or that. Everything's included. They can come in whenever they want. If they're in one class, they can come in during any of the other classes, which was my favorite part teaching in high school was like, you'd have a freshman in the 101 class, but then a senior in the advanced class. But if they were enrolled that semester, they were welcome in the studio during their study hall, lunch, any free time they could come in. So those two students who were higher, like the freshman might be a really good artist and see this guy, and then they became friends and they never would have otherwise. So in here, they come and go and they make friends and it's just so cute.
There's a learning thing. It's called the Khan Academy. I don't know if you ever heard of that when you were a teacher.
No.
The Khan Academy started a long time ago. Bill Gates said it was going to be the future of education, actually. It was a guy trying to teach his nephews how to do math. And he was like, he lived, a couple of states away. So he was kind of putting together these little curriculums for his niece and nephew, these little kids. And it turned into this whole thing. So it's sort of like it's a bracket system. So I signed up for it like 15 years ago just to mess around. So you start off, let's just say you start off with math. You go through addition, subtraction. And then before you can move on to multiplication, you take a little test to show you're proficient. And then if you answer 10 questions in a row, it's like, okay, now we open up multiplication and division. And then, and you can go all the way up to like college level calculus by yourself. Or somebody else that is, if you're at a level where you're not proficient yet and you can't move on, somebody that already is can help you.
Yes.
It's like they're teaching themselves.
You're like all in here. Like we have, shout out to Marcia. She's taken our classes literally since the beginning. And she discovered the underglaze transfers. And her work is so fun because she gets like every random transfer. And like one, she'll cut out these jugglers and they'll be on the bowl and like the scene of like circus. But then this one, she did a dog with a crown and polka dot. And so then other students are like, what's that?
Yeah.
And they're finding their transfers. And then
Over here.
so fun to see them bounce off of each other.
Oh, and how fun for you too to watch them grow as artists. I mean, in a couple years from now, they're gonna be making great shit.
Well, I know they already grow. They all want this membership, and I'm like, I had a conversation with two of them the other day. I'm like, what does a membership look like to you? What do you think you'll get there that you won't get? Because you get to come in during every class. Everything's included. You know what you won't get? You won't get instruction. Because I'm not going to be there if you're in here by yourself. And they all have, you're learning.
Yeah. I wanted to have one of those open studios and then have like a little keypad. Like you're a member, you can come in at night until 10 o'clock or whatever, and then just do whatever you want. You have this is your shelf space. This is your name on. You get 4 foot by 6 foot, something like that.
Yeah.
$200 a month, whatever.
I'm not there yet. And I don't know that this space will be that. I know that there's a desire and a want, but I love these classes.
Yeah.
And I also love them because it's the cycle. Like one thing I loved about being a teacher, it's like you have summer and you're like, woo, and then it's fall, it's new and it's a beginning. And then by winter, you're like, oh my gosh, when is spring break? And then by spring break, you're like, when is... So here we just finished the 8 weeks and we did a whole deep clean. Like the studio feels clean because the 8 weeks still ended and now we're going to start again. And I love that too.
Yeah, that's kind of the good thing about mine. I run a golf course and I'm super busy and I have no time in the summers to make pots. And so it kind of keeps it fresh when I come back around. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't want to stop. I don't want to starve.
Right. And I think people with the membership, they want to be able to, just leave it, come and not necessarily work for the art show, like not have the pressure of like, but then when I addressed that too, I was like, well, if you remember, you wouldn't have the instruction, we wouldn't have the art show. And really everybody loves the art show. It is so fun.
So you're talking about sanding pots. I don't know if I showed you this.
Yeah, no, show me.
So these are like they're diamond discs. Have you seen these things? They're diamond pads.
Diamond.
Yeah, they're diamond pads. It doesn't look like it has any grit to it, but it does.
Wow.
And they're different grits, like 50, 100, 800, 400, 1500, all the way up to 3000.
Okay.
So what I did is I have a bat over there, and they got this like Velcro thing on the back.
Yeah.
I took a piece of Velcro and I stuck it to the middle of a bat. And then I take these things and I start with 50 grit and I go, and I stick it to the wheel. And then I take a fired pot, turn it on, and I go like that. And I do a whole bunch of mugs. Then you go rip it off and you go, next one, 100 grit. And you can make it to where the whole bottom shines like a tile floor. And these things are like $30 on Amazon.
Well, and how fun to have like an assembly line. So you just like this one, that one, and then like the next student could even come down and oh my gosh.
And then this way, you don't scratch tables.
Right. Well, like I got some sanding pads that they were using, but that's another great way to do it. Because again, I had never sanded bottoms. So on week 8, we sand bottoms.
It goes way quicker too because it's just spinning on the wheel.
Yeah.
I was telling my stepson the other day, he was building something. He's building a ski jump to put out in the yard. And I said something. Oh, no, he was doing a jigsaw puzzle, big giant jigsaw puzzle. And I said, you know what I do when I do a puzzle is I separate the pieces into different colors, right? So this way, when I go to look, oh, that's a green piece, I don't have to look through them all. I look at the pile of green pieces, And he's like, huh, and he did it. And I said, I got to tell you, I've spent my entire life trying to find the easiest way to do things. It's the key to life.
It's like me this is a workshop piece. So we also do one-time workshops because the 8-week class is a commitment and all of that. So we do one-time workshops where people can come in and we hand build. And again, it's like a full college curriculum in 2 hours. We do pinch pot, coil slabs, squirt, slip, texture, boom. Now we're on the wheel. Here's your couple balls of clay. This is how you center. This is how you open. This is how you make the bottom. This is how you pull. What do you get? And so like when I'm waxing, I always like start in the middle and then just flick. Because if I try to do a circle, I'm going to make a mess.
See? Little tricks. I've seen people dip the wax. I've seen people do that and they just dip it.
I'm a mess. I would like rip it
and that wax is very flammable. What is that noise? It keeps coming back.
I hear it too. I don't know.
Huh. I wonder if it's us. Maybe turn your volume down?
Turned it down.
That's better. Or did it just go away? I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully the recording, we don't lose something.
I don't know, but this is so fun to chat.
I know. This is fun. Let's see what else I got for you.
Okay.
I love the backdrop. That looks like Entertainment Tonight. I wrote down. Speedball. You worked with them. I'm in the process of partnering with them. I kind of love them.
I love them too. What are y'all partnering on?
They're going to sponsor the podcast. Yes. Kelly. You know Kelly?
Kelly, yes. Yeah, I freaking love Speedball. I mean, they literally are my favorite bats. Like, they were the only bats I was using at the school where I taught. Mm-hmm. That's where I think I was introduced to them. And they had the orange and the green and the blue. And then when I got my own studio at my house, everything was white. And I didn't, they didn't have. They only had these bright colors, which I get people like bright colors, but give me black or white. I want the aesthetic. I want the vibe. Mm-hmm. And they reached out to do the black Molly Sanyour ceramic speedball bat so long ago. And I was like, this is a dream. Yeah. Pinch me.
Yeah.
Pinch
I love
me.
it. So we're in the process. You're the only person to know. I just pitched this idea to Kelly the other day. So I have a couple of sponsors lined up. And what I'm going to do is for followers of this podcast, and I think I might make it to where either you have to follow the podcast and subscribe to YouTube. I don't know. I might just do the followers. We're going to give away a bunch of stuff.
Love a giveaway.
So we're going to give away Speedball underglazes.
Love
and
that.
what I want them to make is a Mike Griffin sample pack. So like 6 of my favorite colors.
What are your favorite colors?
That's impossible to choose. That's the hardest part.
You said you're going to do them like 6-pack. So what?
Well, I do love their yellow.
Okay.
I mean, and their orange is really good. The white, I like the white. It's interesting. The white is fantastic to mix with other colors. Amico makes great stuff. I like Amico's greens, but they're sending me their new kind of like, their new colors. It's like, how would I explain it? Pastels.
Okay.
So I'm really stoked to play with those. So we're going to mess around with that and pick. We're going to pick 6 colors and they'll give away 6-packs. So, sponsored by, I don't know if you saw this thing the other day. Sponsored by, if you ever mess with these guys, Liquid Quartz.
No, I was just telling Saxon about Liquid Quartz because he wanted to do colored clay, but he likes the roughness, but he wanted it to be food safe. And I was like, well, there's this company, Liquid Quartz, that I think you just spray on it. The littlest bit goes a long way and it makes it food safe, right?
Yep, it goes a wicked long way. It's totally clear. It's scent free. It doesn't stink the room up. And so for me, a guy who doesn't really glaze the exteriors very much, I just do
Right.
a minor glaze. So if I do like, you know, this exterior, if I don't seal it, it'll get dirty.
Right.
I gotta seal it. And then these, what did I do the other day? I put a drop of water on there in my spray bottle. I'll show you.
Yeah,
It
I
works pretty good.
would love to hear your feedback on it.
I'll show you. Watch. See if you can see it.
Now, is that water you're spraying?
Just just beads right off of it. It's remarkable.
And how did you apply it? Because I've seen people actually apply it with the spray bottle and then
Yep.
it drips
I
back
brush
in
it.
and then you can just reuse it.
I brush it on, and it'll only seal unglazed surfaces.
That is so good.
Yeah, it's super, super cool. So they're a partner. They're going to send me, so I'm going to give away at the end of each episode, I think starting hopefully
End of
next week,
each episode?
a 250 milliliter bottle. And have you seen the price of this stuff?
It's, yeah.
I just
Well,
got to
I mean, they're the only ones doing that. And how many times do potters want unfired clay? And they
Exactly.
don't want to put a glaze on it. And now they can. I mean, that's pretty
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked.
And
Also,
like ragu pots. I had a Throne with Molly member. Shout out to Alexis Zaccarella. You met her in Richmond,
yeah.
I believe. You probably talked to her online too. She does a lot of like alternative firing pieces. So she would use the liquid quartz to kind of make it food safe.
yeah, yeah, and it's food safe. I mean, I know that is probably a bone of contention with some old potters.
Sure. And it might be bad for us, but I feel like this day and age, everything kind of is.
It sure is. It's freaking microplastics are freaking me out.
Right. But I don't know. I feel like they've tested it and they sell it as food safe, so I believe them.
Yeah, yeah. I have a really good friend that I went to school with at Alfred, and she is a super, super glazed genius. And I asked her, and she said it's made to seal countertops, is what it's for. I said, well, I guess it works on the front of a plate then, because you know what I mean? So,
Yeah, you put stuff on your counter, you wipe it, you clean it, food might
yeah,
fall on it. Yeah.
yeah, works for me. And clear does different things to. I didn't use clear for the longest time because it would burn away my terra sigillata.
And it can be cloudy or it can change. So now are you doing completely unglazed pots and just spraying them?
Well, I brush it on.
You brush it on.
Yes, but I just found a new clear, like actually that's got clear on it.
Yeah, nice and bright.
Yeah, so now I'm like, crap.
Well, and that's what like I've already feel like in this one conversation here you mentioned like I feel like you have all these ideas of all these new collections. Like
Yeah.
how do you love that? Just like exploring and constantly like a whole new color palette. Like you were doing these and now the pastels and you're like, well now I'll play with that. And then the unglazed, now you play with that. And then
You know, it's funny. I wish I could just do one thing. Like we talked about that earlier. I will probably make a run of these and see if they sell. If they like people like them, I'll do another run of them. I can't do the same thing over and over again. I just can't.
right. That's part of why I did the Kickstarter for the butt mug because I love making them. They were so fun. I love that people loved them. And I kept jacking the price up and people kept buying them. I'm like, I want to get creative, guys. I want to do something
buying
else.
these things. That's too funny. Well, I was just I got invited to be in the Flower City Pottery Invitational a month ago,
Congratulations.
which was mind blowing to me to be in that as a self taught potter. I went to Alfred, but I went to Alfred for theater.
That's so cool.
I didn't get a BFA. I didn't get an
Do
MFA.
you act? Are you performing still?
No, pretty much every day. I'm a freaking clown, I guess. You know,
For
like
this, you made your own platform here.
yes, this at the golf course. You know, I'm just a goofball. I'm a people person, I guess. I don't know, but I loved it. It was fun. You know, I did a lot of things in life, and I was never so nervous as standing on stage. You know, where there's 300 people looking at you, waiting for you to mess up. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna forget his line. No, I'm not. You know,
When
you're
you're
just
acting.
sweating. Yeah.
I had an actress join me on Throne with Molly, and I asked her, I'm like, how do you remember your lines? And she was like, well, it's more than like remembering lines. You become the person. You know the storyline. So if you mess up a little, and that to me was like an aha moment, because I literally imagine like, how do people, you see scripts are like this thick, I'm like, how do they remember? But I guess
Yeah.
if you just know and you can go and you're confident and nobody knows you mess up.
I'll tell you, after taking acting classes, watching movies is totally different. Like I watch guys, like some of the greats, go down this like 40-second or 70-second like monologue where the camera never leaves their face. And I'm like, do you know how hard that is? Like,
You see that 4-part, what was that, with the kid and the one-shot camera angle?
yes, the kid who killed his little friend. That was
Yes.
amazing.
Amazing. Yeah, my mind is like, how did they make it?
Yeah, I've seen them. I've seen where they kind of run and hand the camera off and then run.
Yeah,
I think
out the window and pass it, and then it
yes,
goes to the drone carrier. Oh, I love that.
Seth Rogen just did one of his episodes of his show was one whole shot.
Yes.
And the show was about them recording one shot while they recorded the shot. It was pretty remarkable. Speaking of Seth Rogen, he's a potter.
I know, he's on my vision board. How are we gonna? I'm sure he's on yours. Like, how do we get him?
I don't know. I'm gonna keep poking him. Hey, call me.
Keep poking him. Keep poking him.
Yeah. So I remember actually you were talking about becoming the character. When I was taking an acting class, one of my teachers he was like this Broadway Shakespearean guy. And we're all sitting in a circle and we all got our paper like this and we're doing our monologue and he's like, he's like, you guys suck so bad. So he just goes, hold on a second. He goes, everyone just put your paper down. So everyone just puts their paper down for a second. Yeah. And I'm sitting right next to him, right? This is 25 years ago. And he just goes, bink, and he just turned into somebody else. And I remember like going like this, going, oh my God. Like he just started doing Shakespeare, Othello. And just all of a sudden went for about 3 minutes and then he goes, scene. And he just went click. And it was like flicking a switch and he was back. I was like, where'd you just go? That was cool as hell. Yeah.
I realized you had a theater background. That is so cool.
Yeah, it was fun. Did a bunch of plays at Alfred. Like I said, it's pretty wild. But yeah, how did we get down that road?
I don't know, but I have a fun story coming to Atlanta and, having my show Throne with Molly where I channel my inner Andy Cohen. I have my cue cards and like, I would love to have a show and do all that. And Saxon is like, Molly, Atlanta is like the Hollywood of the South. Throw a rock and you'll hit a producer and I'm like, I don't even understand what is a producer mean. And I don't know what all that means. And we get here and I had just opened barely and I get an email from the English teacher set crew or location and they sent me an email that they're filming a punk. Can they come check out my studio? And I'm like, yes, please.
That's cool.
And so they come and it turns out that they were just gonna build their own set, that they needed the set to be closer to where the actors were gonna be. It wouldn't work out for them to come here to film, whatever. So then the whole set crew took a workshop here to kind of understand the ins and outs of what they would need to do to build a studio. And then they're like, hey, Molly, could you maybe throw us some pots so we have them in the background of the shot? And then they were like, hey, actually, our actor says that he can throw a pot, but I think it would be good to have you on set in case he can't, and like in case we need like an actual like reset of something. So could you come on set while we film? And I was like, yes, this is amazing. So I had the most fun day ever. I go on set. They have recreated a dream pottery studio. I was like, oh my gosh, you're taking all this down. And they had every detail of everything built out in the studio, from having like a fake kiln in the corner. They copied my whiteboard with the instructions I give my students with diagrams of like coning up and down. They had every detail. And then you see the scene and it's like, this much of the scene is in it. Like you don't even see all the details that they did in that. And I'm just like, whoa. And like the extras that walk by, like they're like, okay, go, and they walk that same path, and it's like now I watch TV with this whole different like.
Yeah. How much work went into that 3 seconds?
One scene.
I used to work for a company back in my early 20s in New York City called 30 FPS, which is 30 frames per second, and we did commercials. We just traveled around, shot commercials, and my job at that point was like I was like a prop shopper. So basically, when you're going to build a set like that. Yeah. They would give me a van and a couple $1,000.
Stop.
You didn't have credit cards and Apple Pay back then.
Right.
A list of stuff to go buy. Here, go get all this stuff. Okay, and I'd come back and I would buy a bookshelf and a chair and we would put it all together and you buy all these clothes, but you leave the tag on, break it all down, put it back in the boxes and return it at the end of the day.
That's what they said with all the pottery equipment. Like I saw a bunch of speedball stuff. They're like, yeah, we're just sending it all back.
Yep.
Wow. And then if they have to reshoot, they have to rebuild the whole thing.
Yeah. I remember like waiting. And this is back in the like early 80s, maybe late 80s. I remember waiting on the lighting guy for hours. I'm like, oh my God, we're just sitting here doing nothing. And this guy's got to get the lighting right.
Yeah, the amount that goes into it. But then it was fun because to your point of the prop guy, the same prop girl from the English teacher then hopped over to her next role and they needed a pottery something for whatever scene. And she was like, hey, Molly, I'm on a new show. Can you do this? I'm like, yes. So
Yep.
it's like, I was so fascinated by the prop people and that industry. It's fascinating.
Yeah, it's pretty neat what they all do. It's a lot of people. It's an army.
It really is. And like the trucks and the craft services, oh my God, the food that they had was like, wow.
Yeah, those people got to eat.
Yeah, and it's a lot of.
That's funny because on my list here it says, "Were you on a TV show?" So that's.
Yeah, it was so cool.
Let's talk a little bit about. So, a couple things. I got all sorts of fun stuff. Where do I go next? Who made that mug of your dad?
I did.
Where'd you get the sticker for that?
Do you know Justin Roshank?
Yes, that's why it looked familiar to me. Did he make that for you?
No, when I saw that he was putting images of people on his pots, I was fascinated. I'm like, you're telling me I can put Beyonce on my cups?
Yeah.
I can put people on my cups.
Yeah.
So I actually started putting Beyonce because Justin Roshank has a whole Q&A of FAQ on his website. And like I would, DM him, message him. He's so kind, so nice. And has a whole FAQ about like what printer you need, what paper. You just need I always forget if it's inkjet or laserjet. One of them, you need an all black printer. You print in the black ink on the decal paper, and then it burns out to that kind of oxide color.
Yeah.
And then I've learned that he does his own custom decals that you can send away to lots of companies too, and or buy a really expensive printer, but you can print your own black iron oxide decals. Like I have my Justin Roshank right here.
I got to get him on the show, actually. Yeah, Bernie Sanders. Yep, love
So
it.
I was like, how is he doing that? So I was putting Beyonce on all my pots because I freaking love Beyonce. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
And somebody was like, well, Molly, she could sue you because you're putting, and I was like, I would never want to upset Beyonce or have her sue me. And then meanwhile, I grew up and my dad was making, I'll show you, here it is. It's like a joke or I don't know. He has like a story with his cousin that they would do this face and kind of mock their uncle or somebody. Like they thought it was a joke. So my whole life, my dad we call it the Frank face now. Okay. And he's like, well, Molly, put me on your pottery. Put my face. And I was like, okay, so I did a series of my dad's faces just for kind of like kicks and giggles, and people were buying it who didn't even know. First, his friends were buying it because I was in his hometown, Richmond, so they loved it. And then random people, and they'd be like, "Is that Al Roker?" And I'm like, "No, it's my dad." And like people would think it's someone that they don't even know who it is, but they're like, "Huh?" I'm like, "That is so interesting."
That is cool. Yeah, your dad looks like fun. It's Frank, right?
It's fun. He had asked for a butter bell. I've never made a butter bell.
Yeah.
Have you made butter bells?
Yeah, I make more butter dishes.
He wants a butter bell because his broke, and he loves soft butter, and he loves having that butter out by the stove. And I made a butter bell. This is actually a fail I can share. Let me get this. Like a man that doesn't ask for much. If he asks for something, you're like, okay, I got to do it. So I made him a butter bell, like just a butter bell. It fit great. And then I wanted to glaze it all because, food's safe. And now it doesn't drop in there. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, well, crap, I'm going home for Thanksgiving. So I have these two. I made two now because, if they don't work, I haven't glazed them yet, but I think that I have a little more room to allow. And I've got this one and then one here that I've got to get glazed for Frank. So he won't see this, I hope, because he doesn't know I'm making them. But Frank wanted a butter bell, so I'm working on that.
Butter bells are oddly difficult to make. Butter dishes are oddly difficult to make.
I had this student in one of our 8 weeks who educated us all on butter. She loves butter. Her motto is life is too short not to eat the good butter. And I didn't know that butter came in such a range. And she brought me she brought our class 2 butters that were like nice butters to like taste test. And then she gifted me a round of butter, which I have never even shopped a round of butter. I didn't know how delicious.
Yeah, it comes along. Butter. Yeah. One of my life's mottos is everything's better with cheese. I mean, it really is. I mean, I could eat this cup. It would taste better if I had a piece of cheese with it, right?
Or would. What's your favorite kind of cheese?
I like really sharp. I like sharp cheddar. I just like it to little tang to it. Yeah, I had a butter dish. Actually, we were talking about fails. There's a broken butter dish in that garbage can right over there. Dadgummit. I just made... Here, I'll show you this one.
Well, and that's the thing with clay too. It's like I like to kind of share the fails. I think people like to see other people's fails too, but it's like we all are in this journey. We're all gonna have failures.
Yep.
That's gorgeous.
I make them as like boxes.
I love that. See, I love your hand-built stuff. I just love it.
Thank you. Yeah,
I
that
just
little
love
crack.
it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
What will you do with that? What will you do with that? Because it doesn't have a crack on the inside, does it?
Oh, no, it's totally fine. It's totally functional. Probably, that's a gift for a family member, probably. Or smash pile.
You
Smash.
cannot smash that.
My wife came home. She went on vacation, came home, and one of the shelves that was covered in pots was empty. And she doesn't miss a trick. She goes, "Where'd all that stuff go?" I was like, she goes, "Michael, it was a bunch of stuff I was tired of. I needed the space. I threw it all out." She was really mad. Sorry.
At least like a sale, like a second sale. I just feel like it's on this earth forever, and someone will look at your trash and love it.
Yeah, yeah.
So why not give it a chance?
I've done sales where I have like all my stuff out, and then like the one that I hate the most sells first. I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, and that's why like my students will look at that work and be like, ugh. The rest of us are looking at it like, oh my gosh. Because they're so in their head, they're like right there with it. And we're like, but look at all this.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a hot topic too, seconds. Because like with the Throw with Molly membership, when we would meet online and my members, went from learning to throw to opening their own businesses and selling. And then we have the conversations about like seconds. And my motto is kind of try to give it a home. And some potters are like, it doesn't deserve to be in this world, like kill it. And I'm like, it's a hot topic.
Yeah, I know some people won't sell seconds at all because they don't want their name on something out there that's not well made. Like, I get both sides of the story, or both sides of it, but...
I know, and I get that too, because to be honest, I don't know if you've had the experience of finding your own piece at a Goodwill. And I'm like, yeah, maybe that shouldn't have been out in the world. But at the same time, it's still making the rounds.
It's such a fine line. That's kind of also out there with pricing. Like pricing at work. It's so like I was just talking about being at the Flower City Pottery Invitational, and I was talking to Frank Fisher. Do you know Frank?
Maybe if I saw his face or his work.
Another speedball guy. Isn't that weird? Like I can and then I go, "This is Frank," and I go, "Oh, I know Frank."
Yes. I love that though. When you recognize their work, I love that.
Exactly. He was like, "Are you nervous for the show?" And I said, "Well, yeah." And he said, "Well, why?" I said, "Because I'm looking at someone's table next to me and going, God, that's really good stuff. Like, ugh. And he says, everyone's doing that with your table too. I was like, are they though?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
I was talking about that a little bit earlier. We get sidetracked, about doing runs of things. My table, so I was next to Dallas Wooten. I don't know if you know Dallas, makes just amazing porcelain stuff. Austin Riddle, amazing stuff. Merritt Metzger, beautiful stuff. And then there's my table, which is just a smorgasbord of different types of pieces, colors, shapes, Like theirs had like a line, like a lineage, I guess. Mine was like a pile of laundry, I guess.
Well, that's interesting. But I feel like you're showing us literally a lineage, like a cohesive set right there. I'm sure within your work does have a cohesive quality. It's not like you're giving us slip casted underglaze and then you're giving us, totally wheeled. I mean, I feel like there's like, show me some of the pieces. Do you have some?
Well, no, they're all packed up because they're going to a different sale. And it's funny, the sale didn't really go too well. The first day it was kind of rainy. So yeah, it was rainy and cold in Rochester, New York, and there was like another fair going on the other side of town, and this was like a famous show. Some amazing people were there, and I was expecting to sell a couple $1,000s worth of stuff, and we didn't really. And so the last day, I put a sign up on my table, 50% off. And I don't know if that pissed off the other artists or not, but I'm like, you can sell yours for whatever you want. I can sell it's my pots.
I did a show like that one time at the end. There's nothing worse than packing up everything you came with. I'm like, take it.
Yeah. So like if I wanted $200 for this plate and you want to give me 120, okay.
Yeah. And that's like, as a shopper too, like, hey guys, go on that last day at that last minute and make me an offer.
Wait for the last day. In the process of making some big kind of travel mugs. So if this will give you a size reference.
That's what we're working on some. Well, I'm not. So Saxton got the clay bug. He, is an animation director. He's an Emmy-winning animation director. I love to throw that out there.
Nice.
And
Yep.
he's working on some new projects. But in opening the studio, when I had my studio in Richmond when we were dating, he was like, "That's your space. That's your space." And he came down, I think, 2 times.
Yeah.
And in this space, I'm like, hey, if you're going to be here all the time, because he is a creative and he likes to be around, and we made an office space for him too. I need you to learn clay. I need you to learn, like, if you see something out, where it goes. I just need you to, like, learn. So you're going to take an 8-week class. So I put him in an 8-week class, and I wonder if I should just pull him over and have him show you his.
Yes, let's see some Saxton pots.
All right, I'm going to wheel y'all over because Saxton has now not only taken 1 8-week class where we end with an art show, and 2 8-week classes and 3 8-week classes, but show me your first pots first. The first pots, okay? Because this is an evolution, and this is like pottery community, so y'all get this. Like, this is like, let me see if I can
You're supposed to say,
bring this up a little bit.
my boyfriend has been doing pottery.
Forever.
You're going to like it.
Yeah, okay, my boyfriend just learned pottery. He's gonna show you his pots, and y'all are gonna like it, okay?
Ladies and gentlemen, Saxton.
And
Let's
this
see
is
what you got.
Saxton. Okay, so
Oh,
first
buddy.
pots.
These are my first.
Let me be your Vanna White.
That I did. And
Dude.
He trend a foot, his
Dude.
signature.
Dude.
Yeah,
Very
first
cool.
pots. Okay, this is collection 1.
And then, yeah. And this
Collection
is another
2.
bowl.
I'll hold these. Okay, this was art show 1. He's doing a conceptual idea of the 12, which is iconic of like old Fourth Ward Atlanta, and rag dogs represented police and kind of like the injustices of young black men and all that stuff. So.
Okay, very cool. Yep.
And then this is like a head shape that I did.
Sweet.
And, I hand built it.
Yep.
It's a hollow form. It has a pit. It's a hollow. He's
hollow.
bringing his art, his
Love
characters.
the hair. Yep.
And then
Ooh,
this
sculptor.
statue piece that I did.
Dude. Do you even know how good that is?
But he's got a cell phone in his hand.
Dude, you need to do more of those. That's badass right there.
Oh wait.
wait,
And this was a 2-part, and then he used glaze as a glue. This was art show 2. He missed 1 art show. This was art show. Oh, this was part of the same collection here.
It's okay to epoxy things together after they're fired.
It's inspired by like African mask and African.
Yeah.
And so this is another head, but it's also a palette dish. So you hold it like this.
Oh, yes. Double duty. Love it.
Then you take the brush.
And it holds the brush.
Stop it.
And he constructed it so it will sit on your desk like this, holding your brush. Then when you need it, you just.
Genius.
Okay, now, as if we didn't think that for a beginner, he just started. Show him your inspiration first. He's going to show you his inspiration, and you're going to be impressed. Okay,
Yeah,
show him the art
yeah.
show inspiration.
This is your podcast. But so this is an Aztec sculpture that I saw.
In a museum, he
Yeah.
got inspiration at the museum.
And
Yep.
I like functional art pieces, and so I made a pouring vessel.
It tells the story of the red dog that the tongue is the handle. It's the guy in the white shirt's got the stick to throw for the red dog, so the red dog leaves them alone and goes the other way. And it's a pouring vessel. It's a multi-piece pouring vessel.
Come on, dude. You need to quit your job.
And then, okay, so that brings us to the cup, because Mike's showing us his cup he made.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
the
yeah.
latest creation, we're doing a collab, but I feel like it's more Saxon, and I was the thrower and the trimmer.
And
But
so-
now we're doing these cups, these like,
Oh, nice.
But-
Is that a red glaze or is that
lava glaze.
this is the lava glaze, and then this is like a red matte.
with a clear over it? Oh, I love it.
No clear. This is like a red
Dude.
glaze.
One thing I learned is that lava glaze, like I brushed this on,
Yep.
but I watched a YouTube video and it says if you dip it, it gets more porous and chunky. So that's
Yep.
what I'm going for.
So I actually made him set up over here today. So he's set up on our work table, sanding and working on glazing all this for our first collaborative set, guys. You've
That's
seen
cool.
it here first. The Saxton Moore, Molly Sanyour collab round of cups.
That's fantastic. My uncle's wife is a lady named Lydia Thompson. Tell him to check out Lydia Thompson.
Who? Olivia Thompson?
Lydia.
Lydia Thompson.
She's doing a residency right now at Starworks in North Carolina.
Lydia Thompson.
She makes really cool sculptural pieces, and she's
Well,
also,
that's what's been so fun. Like, I love that he's taken on, like, opening himself to the community, because he'll come in and he'll see something come out of the kiln and be like, what glaze is that? And then I'll be like, I don't know. Like, Kayla brought in a glaze that you'll have to find her. And he's like, well, is she here yet? Is she here? And then, like, the people see each other's and then they have conversations, and it's just so good. It's just so
welcome
good.
to the addiction, sir. Welcome. Yeah, welcome. You're in it for life now.
You're in it for life, yeah.
But those sculptures are no joke. Like, I'll send you somebody. So if he made those, like, 3 feet tall, he'd sell them for 10 grand a piece.
I know. And then I'm just like, and I took a class with Andrea Keys Connell that
Yes.
is building big in a small kiln.
Yep.
And that actually started my whole Big Belly series that then led to the butt mug, that then all that. But she would tell you how you sculpt this big thing, and then we would literally take a knife and find a good place for a seam and cut that big thing into 3 pieces that then fit in the kiln. And then when it came out, it's not like you're eating out of it. So she could just use house paint or acrylics or whatever and do like after cold attaches, cold.
Yep. Yeah. Like I said, it's okay to attach it together with epoxy after it's fired.
Yes, the mixed media of it all.
I know a pretty guy that was on this show. He makes handles. He slip casts the handles, and he like paints them like with gold luster, fires them separately, and then just glues them on.
I feel like I've seen that, where he like props them up with the kiln stilts and lets them just kiss.
John Quick.
Yeah.
Tell Saxon he's got to get one of these too.
Oh, we have a couple of those. That's my favorite hand building tool. The rat.
Best tool ever.
The little rat. Yeah, that's my favorite tool. And that tool is tricky because I tell students about it, like at the one-time workshop, but they don't get to experience it because you need the pot to be drier. And in the one time, I'm like, if you were here, you could use this tool, but
You're not there
your
yet.
pot drier.
A common theme on this show, if you ever go back and watch any of them, is to just keep making. Like, it's very rare for someone to make good pots right away. So it's like, just make pots that are heavy, make pots you don't like. As you become more and more comfortable with the medium, your pots will get better and they'll get cooler, and just keep making. So
Exactly.
that's awesome. I love that sculpture.
I'm like, are you sure you need to go work on that movie and video game and book that all that other stuff that you're doing? Or like you got something here.
If I could make as much money doing this as I did at work, I would just do this 100%. But
Right.
somebody else I'll send you, because when I get off the phone, I'll find him on Instagram and I'll send you their profile for him to check out, because they make these really cool sculptures that he would like.
Yeah, I'd love to see.
I got a whole bunch of other questions, but we're at an hour and a half here. Let's see.
Okay, wow.
That went quick.
Well, this was so fun. I love talking clay. I love clay people. I love seeing what other people are doing.
So we'll have to save questions. We'll do Molly Sanyour season 2 or episode 2.
I'd be honored.
We'll come back again, in a couple of months when your studio is packed with people again. We should do that. We should be like, hey, everybody.
Actually, if you go to my YouTube channel, Saxon had the idea to put a live YouTube iPad up at our art show. So we put the iPad up, we hit live record, and I have it's like 2 hours. So if you put on, but I don't even know, you can see people coming and going and kind of see the energy that we had. So
I wonder if you could attach your laptop to that TV up on the wall, and we could just talk to people in the whole room. Like, hi, everybody.
awesome.
That'd be
I
cool.
love this technology. Thanks for having me a part of your show. This is awesome. I love
Yes.
seeing you interview other people and just spread the creative juices across the internet, across the world.
And thank you. I know you're busy. I know you got a lot going on, and we made it happen. We got it.
We did it. Thank you so much, Mike.
So we got to end it the way we always do. We're going to need one good tip from you. So what do you have for potters out there? Because you've been a teacher for so long. You know so many great tips. Just give us one you think people would.
Yes. Oh gosh. I had one earlier. I feel like the best tip is to just, if you have fun, keep doing it. It should be fun. Have fun with the process. Like you kind of mentioned being unattached. I think if you are attached and you get then you take the fun out of it. Just have fun. Oh, it blew up? Okay, well, let me make another that's not still wet or so thick, or do something. And you just have to, you never reach completion in pottery. It's a continuous growth.
Yeah, it is a journey. Absolutely.
Have fun.
And last thing, tell us where we can buy your pots. Tell us what your website is for the studio.
Molly Sanyour ceramics.com. So MOLLY SANYOUR ceramics.com, on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, Molly Sanyour Ceramics. And then I made an Instagram only for the studio too. So if you want to see kind of what our students are doing, Molly Sanyour Ceramics Studio Instagram account, you can kind of see their work there and them during.
Cool, very good. I'll have to go follow along and tell your kids and your students to follow the podcast, because we're going to be giving away free stuff. We're going to be giving away liquid quartz. We're going to be giving away some speedball colors. Yeah, it's going to be lots of fun.
That is so awesome, Mike. Congratulations! It's fun to see this grow so quickly for you, and I will definitely tell people to tune in because those are some great giveaways.
Awesome, and thank you very much. Say goodbye to Saxon. Tell him to keep making sculptures. And I'm gonna miss you at NCECA, but I'll shoot you a text. Say, you're missing.
Yeah, I'm gonna live vicariously through all of you guys at NCECA. I've just got to. I'm not set up enough here yet to take it off, but maybe the next year. So I can't wait to hear where the next one's gonna be. And y'all have fun and post a lot.
Very good. All right, Molly. Everyone.
All
See
right,
you, Molly.
great. Bye,
Thank
guys.
you. See ya.
See y'all.